The late adopter. Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to a new Bitcoin video, and we gotta talk about long-term prospects of where this might be going or not. And you know, a long-term chart does not look actually that good or that bad. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not good, you know, or not. It's not good, but it's not terrible. I don't know what saying goes, you know, from the movie. Anyways, as you can see here on the chart right now, and from the thumbnail, we have a triangle on the monthly time frame on Bitcoin. We're also gonna look at what's happening, you know, short term today and stuff like that after this. But right now, I think this is the most interesting thing that we can actually talk about. I mean, yes, we are not even close to the monthly close yet. I mean, it's only been 7 days out of, you know, how many, 31 or 30 days, 31 days. So, you know, this candle over here is gonna take a while before it actually closes. Now, it is important candle. I gotta tell you, it is important candle right now because we do not want to close below this 20 moving average. I'm also gonna explain to you why we do not want to close below 20 moving average when we are looking at the history of Bitcoin. But right now we are kind of falling below that 20 moving average. That said, we are still in some kind of triangle over here. Now people will, you know, say that this is some kind of a, you know, bullish continuation towards the upside, and that can be the case. Now, unfortunately, the indicators are not telling us that's the case, and right now it's telling us actually that we might fall on the downside. So I'm gonna explain to you how this actually works. First thing first, this is, you know, extension, smack, hug, dump pattern. This part over here sometimes happen and then it continues dumping on the downside. This is a very normal pattern. So even the pattern up here, although people will, you know, argue that this continuation pattern is going to continue to upside, this looks, you know, that it might, you know, after March or something like that, continue on the dumping on the downside. But I'm going to tell you what has to happen for actually to do that. Now the triangle is pretty neat. This is a monthly time frame, so it hits a couple of very important wicks on the upside. You can see here a very important wicks, also corresponds very nicely with the 10 moving average. So this resistance line is very important right now. Now on the bottom side we got something like this. I mean, I think this is the best you can draw over here. You got these 2 wicks down here and these 2 wicks. So I think right now this triangle is pretty much confirmed, however you look at it, and whichever side you exit out of this triangle on the monthly time frame, that's probably the side you're gonna, you know, stick on for a little while longer. Unfortunately, this does not look good. So like we said, this 20 moving average up here, we do not want to fall below that. Now why is that? So I'm gonna show you here on the history of the Bitcoin. And first thing first, let's just do the 20 moving average. Let's remove all the moving. So you can see here right now we are sitting on the 20 moving average, right? But if you look at a history on Bitcoin, every time you you drop below the 20 moving average, you get a big dump. And unfortunately this is pretty common for Bitcoin. You can see here it was going kind of sideways up here, but as soon as it went below 20 moving average, it tried to get back up again, but you know, it continued on the downside. So getting below 20 moving average over here, very nice support on 20 moving average on the monthly time frame is right now, you know, alpha and omega. You break that on the downside and you look terrible, right? You break 20 moving average on the downside, it looks terrible, and that's why I'm saying we cannot go below 20 moving average. But this is a long-term chart, you know, so we're gonna see how they actually performs. Now look at the RSI down here. Look at the RSI. This is RSI. This is what we call a rubber band index, of course. And right now we are down at 53 on RSI. And what you're gonna notice here on the RSI is 20 moving average and the exact same level down here. As soon as we went below that level, that was capitulation phase down here, right? That was capitulation phase. Corona dump down here, that was capitulation phase. I was actually thinking down here, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see this nicer. I was actually thinking that this is actually the start of the bull run over here. This was actually start of the bull run, and I was really confident and, you know, bullish up here. Unfortunately we got Corona dump, so everything dump on the downside, and then, you know, continue. But you know, without the Corona dump, you know, and without Corona, I think that we would have managed maybe to, you know, do something like this over here instead of, you know, doing this move up here. I think this was actually the start. So you can see here it was even down here it was some kind of small capitulation area down here, right? So we can see that this capitulation area comes below, what's that, 53 levels, give or take. And down here as well, exactly on the 20 moving average, RSI on the 20 moving average right now fell down, and you know, this was the capitulation area down here, right? So right now I think we might be going into the capitulation area if we break below the 20 moving average. So long-term prospects right now looking that we might get into this, you know, dump down here where we, you know, consolidate and then, you know, pumped, you know, back towards the upside. I think this, you know, capitulation has been in the books for a long time. Everybody knows that we need capitulate, we need to, you know, get down to 20 or something like that, 10k, whatever, right? 15, whatever, I don't know what the number right now, but you know, we gotta drop big time, you know, to get everybody out of the market, to reset everything, and then we can pump back up again. So how this capitulation area is gonna play out, I do not know, but if we close below the 20 moving average down here and the next month we fail to get back up again, so I'm gonna say March, April, by 1st May, if we are not back above the 10 moving average, that's capitulation, guys. So we got around like 1.5 months, 2 months left to actually confirm this move. Now if this continues just dumping on downside, we can pretty much say that this is already over, but we have to see how this actually gonna play out, this capitulation here. Now of course this can also, you know, get the bottom down here and bounce right back up again. But we were already up here, you know, we tested this resistance area a couple times, 1, 2, 3 times, and right now we are down again. Can we test it for 4th time? Of course we can, of course we can. But like I say, if we break this to the upside, we are bullish, but if we break it on the downside, we are bearish, and we are going to so down here is capitulation. I think capitulation is going to come below, it's not 35, I think it's on the monthly it's around the 30k or something like that. Let me no, this is on the daily, let's no, weekly. Man, let me check out. Yeah, I think you know, you know, as soon as we start falling below 30,000, something like that, it might look bad. But on the monthly time frame, that's around 38, 39,000. And if we close below these levels, 38, 39,000 on the monthly time frame, that's, you know, that's already bad. But if you go below, what's that? 35,000. 35,000 is the triangle. If we close below 35,000, then we are out of the triangle, and that's, you know, that's kind of pretty much game over. And then you gotta wait for the next candle. And if next candle fails to get it back up again, you know, that's it. That's why I'm saying March, April. And if March, April fail to, you know, get out of the triangle towards the upside, it's kind of over. It's kind of over. We are going to capitulation phase. Now, capitulation phase is a very good time to buy because, you know, once you dump another 50% down, how much more are you going to dump? The zero. Are we going to zero? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I don't think Bitcoin is ever going to go to zero, but you know, you never know. You never know. That said, long-term chart looks pretty bad, pretty grim, but you know, it's long-term chart. It's only 7 today, so we got still you know, half a month, 20 days left or something like that, so you know, no worries there. So let's look at what's happening right now, and let's go to the weekly time frame. What you're gonna see on the weekly time frame is we are getting pushed down by the moving averages. So you can see here that we are getting pushed down by this 10 moving average. This is a fast moving average on the downside. We are getting pushed down by this. And by the way, before we continue on short term, let me just show you the MACD up here on the monthly time frame on Bitcoin. So we just looked at RSI, but the MACD made a bearish cross here back in January, and this bearish cross on the MACD on the monthly time frame can play out for a while. That's why I'm saying this does not look good, and the probability is actually towards the downside, not actually towards the upside, unfortunately. So you can see here, every time you get this bearish MACD cross, let's move the RSI just for a second up here. Every time you get this bearish MACD cross, you kind of go on the downside, and down here as well. You see here, right up here, we got the bearish MACD cross, and as soon as you got that, you know, we continue on the downside. So even the monthly bearish MACD cross is telling us right now, this looks bad. We are going to eat capitulation phase down here. So I unfortunately, on long-term chart, I'm not very that optimistic on how this is actually going to play out. Now let's continue with the weekly time frame and see what's happening short term, and then we're gonna go daily and, you know, 4 hourly and 5 minutes and 1 second and stuff like that. So you can see down here we are getting rejected by this 20 moving average on the downside. There is no divergence or anything like that from what I've gathered. There are no divergence. Everything looks fine, and then the problem is we are getting rejected every single time. And even this big move that was like 20% towards the upside, only went to the 50 and 20 moving average, right back down below the 10 moving average, closed down there, which is quite bad move. And right now we are still sitting below this 10 moving average. So I'm expecting this actually to continue more on the downside until we see some kind of divergence, some kind of you know, bottoming pattern or something like that. This can actually be also some kind of bottoming pattern, because this is, we explained this, that this was if you go to daily time frame, this is some kind of ascending triangle. You can see up here, down here. This is some kind of, we were talking about this ascending triangle. Ascending triangles might be reversal patterns, right? There might be reversal patterns, but if we cross this line on the downside, it's no longer reversal pattern. It's you know, just the continuation on the dump on the downside. A weekly time frame pattern on the weekly time frame that we have right now. It's the only good thing about, you know, the weekly time frame right now is that we did not made a lower low down here. Okay, so we made a low down here at 36,000, and this move on the downside did not make a lower low, you know, down here. So we don't have any such thing as a lower low. If we, you know, dump down here and start creating these lower lows, that's gonna be very bearish move towards downside. But right now, if we somehow can manage to get above this 10 moving average, you know, I'm keeping all you know, all my books open, and you know, I'm looking for this maybe to you know, continue a little bit towards the upside, maybe even, you know, get out of the big triangle towards the upside, you know, because just because something has happened before doesn't mean it's gonna happen again, but we are assuming it might happen again, right? So when we are looking at history of Bitcoin, and we are looking at the indicators, the RSI, the MACD, you know, how it's performed before, every time below 20 moving average, you dump, right? Every time you got a RSI that's at 53, if you know, go below 20, you get into capitulation phase. When you get a bearish MACD cross on the monthly time frame, you know, you look terrible, and so forth, right? But like we said, there is still a lot of room left until the monthly close, so this can definitely, for some reason, get up here and then continue going towards the upside. I'm not saying, I'm always keeping my books open. I've seen stranger things happen, although it does look bad. You know what they say, when stuff looks the worst, that's when you reverse, right? When stuff looks the worst, that's when you reverse. So as you can see here, let's go to the weekly time frame. Although not terrible yet, although it's not good, but it's not terrible, because this move, although we got rejected, we did not make a lower low. That's why I'm saying. So this move up here, the fact that we are hugging this 10 moving average from the bottom side up here, might be just the thing that we need. Also, this might, you know, there is definitely some bullishness in the market. People want to push this up, but unfortunately the bearishness is bigger than bullishness, and it pushes us back down below 10 moving average. But if we for some reason managed, you know, to pump a little bit above this 10 moving average, and that's around something like yeah, let's say 40k, above 40k, if you can manage to get above 40k on the weekend close, that means in 7 days, because this just closed, this weekly candle just closed. I wasn't even aware of that. This weekly candle just closed. If you can manage in next 7 days get back above the 10 moving average, I'm gonna be a little bit bullish, and then we're gonna see how this actually performs. Now, just like we said, we are still in a downtrend, and I am still not panicking yet. I'm still not, you know, I'm still holding all my cards open and stuff like that. As you can see here, we are at the bottom on the support here on the daily time frame, and this is what I'm looking for the continuation of the downtrend. So right now, the way I see it, we are in some kind of you know, ascending triangle. We were talking about this before, and we are on the support area. So, you know, if we, you know, go on the downside, that's when we start to panic. But when we go on the downside, I'm expecting some kind of retest and then move to the downside. But if we can manage just to bounce off of this somehow, you know, and continue above this resistance up here, then we are good. But right now, although it does look big, all of these moving averages on the daily time frames, 10, 20, 50 moving average, is gonna start pushing us down. So we don't have technically that much time left, because a 20 moving average is going pretty steeply towards downside. So I would say we got a couple of days left here before the week is done. Before the week is done, this is gonna play either towards the downside or towards the upside, guys. Either towards downside or upside. If we break on downside, I'm expecting more dump. If we break towards the upside, maybe, just maybe, we might see some kind of continuation towards the upside. Unfortunately, there is there is you can see how nice this 4-hourly trend line is right now. We are at the bottom right now, so if we for whatever reason dump a little bit more on the downside, that's when the stuff is gonna get ugly. But right now it's not ugly. We are at support, and you know what I say, you know, buy support, sell resistance. So a lot of traders are looking at this right now, although it does look bearish. They might be betting on the support is gonna hold, so you know they buy long. But as soon as support fails, that's when I get out. So you know, I'm not a financial loss. You do with your money what you want to do with your money, but you know, the thing in trading is, you know, you buy supports, you sell resistances. That's how the things works. Right now we are at support, so it's not time for panic. And even if you break the support, it's not time for panic again. The panic becomes when you try to go back up again and retest the support as resistance. Now, if there is resistance up here, that's the bad sign, and that's you know, that's game over for this move up here. So you might see lower moves. Now this is on daily time frame, as we saw right now. Daily time frame is not that that important in the long term. The long term is monthly, guys. The long term is weekly and monthly time frame, and monthly time frame does not look at all good or whatever, you know. But this this triangle is the only thing that's still holding my this triangle is, you know, still that's holding my, you know, hopium up right now. And as long as we are not out of the triangle, that's fine. But as soon as we get out the triangle, that's, you know, gonna be either bad or good. So I would say on the monthly time frame, on the long-term time frame, down here, what's that's gonna be, below 35,000, below 35,000, below this line down here. This is what we call panic area, okay? Panic area. This is panic area. Okay, this down here is panic area. So slow, you know, if you start closing down here, that's when the panic is gonna kick in. That's when you know, the fear and greed index is gonna go below you know, 20, around 10 or something like that. I think it's gonna be pretty bad. On the other hand, if you for some reason get up here, you know, and that can happen because, you know, you've seen what's happening in the world. You know, gold is going up, oil is going up, wheat is going up. So why not Bitcoin? Bitcoin should go up as well, right? So if Bitcoin manages, you know, for some reason to start going up, we're gonna notice and we're gonna see that we're kind of super bullish. But that's above the 10 moving average. That's about around 45,000 right now. 45,002, let's say 45,000. If you can manage to get above 45,000, that's gonna be like the best case scenario on the monthly time frame. Go up above there, close there, guys. Bull run is gonna continue. But so what's gonna be? It's gonna be like next bull run, or are we gonna go dump down below the 20 moving average, going to capitulation phase? What's better for you guys? What's better? Do you want the bull run to just continue, or do you want capitulation phase? Do you have money on the side to buy the capitulation, or are you sitting there just like, please come on, just bounce, you know, because those are the two options. You got money on the side, you're probably betting on the capitulation because you want to buy low, cheap. If you're not sitting on the sidelines, you are just sitting looking at your portfolio bleeding, you're probably betting, yeah, maybe it's gonna go towards the upside. So we got all these scenarios, you know, set up right now. But on the daily time frame, what we are looking at right now is this, of course, this triangle. Ascending triangle right now. I think most people are looking at this ascending triangle right now, and I've shown you yesterday's or day before video that this ascending triangle can actually be a reversal pattern. Will it be a reversal pattern this time or not? That depends to see, but we are at some kind of support down here, so you know, as long as we are sitting on support and not breaking it, it's all good. It's all good. Anyways, we're gonna see how this actually turns out tomorrow. So do subscribe, do like the video, and thanks for watching. Thanks for watching all the 18 minutes and 47 seconds of the video. It's been a long video. I don't know why. You know, I just feel like talking right now. Maybe I should do live stream. You know. Sometimes I just feel like talking. Anyways, enough chit chat. Thanks for watching, man. Appreciate it. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye bye. And use the link. Use the link, guys.